official blowing, but for those of you who brought your shofars, we're going to have a time at the end where everybody will get to come up and blow the shofar. But for now, David Sweet, if you would come forward, please. All right, we're going to have some festival readings now. Tina, if you would come forward, please. We're going to read Genesis chapter 22, verses 1 to 14.
Such a challenge. Okay. Well, are yours readers, just plain readers? Yes, could I? Thank you. These trifocals are rough, guys. Thank you, darling. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that. And a light shined. Oh, okay. Now I can see. All right. Let's see. 22.
English right there.
Oh, thank you. That'd be much easier. I'm like, come on, I transliterate it. Okay. After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains, of which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac. And he cut the wood for the burnt offering and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from afar. Then Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey. I and the boy will go over there and worship and come back again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So they went both of them together, and Isaac said to his father, Abraham, my father. And he said, Here I am, son. He said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. So they went both of them together. When they came to the place of which God had told them, Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and beheld behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of the place, The Lord Will Provide. As it is said to this day, On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided.
All right. I'm going to have, you're going to read one, and then you're going to read, Ms. Cathcart, please. You're going to read for us Leviticus chapter 23, and you're going to read for us the section dealing with, I'll find it here just a second. Right here, you have a short read.
There we go.
Right there.
Leviticus 23, starting in verse 23. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, saying, of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall not do any ordinary work, and you shall present a food offering to the Lord.
Now, Mrs. Staff is going to come and do a reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, starting with verse 50, I believe it is, to 58. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 50 to 58.
Just a second.
Now I say this, brothers, that flesh and blood cannot inherit God's kingdom, neither does the perishable inherit imperishable. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of the eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we will be changed. For this imperishable body must become imperishable, and this mortal body put on immortality. But when this perishable body will have become imperishable, and this mortal will have put on immorality, then what is written will happen. Death is swallowed up in victory. Death, where is your sting? Hades, where is your victory? The sting of death is sin, and the power of sin is the law. But thanks be to God